these black brackets that you're tightening here took you 3 hours to put on yesterday?
Well, yeah, I had to wrestle everything myself.
Yeah.
I believe they're 19. Sponsored by Crescent Wrenches from Harbor Freight and Cobalt Tools. And plus, like I said, this separation between here and here, it's tight here and bar here. Which that's not going to make the drive shaft vibrate, but it does control the angle because we can adjust it here and we can adjust it in these holes. I'm going to move it to the upper hole somewhere in the upper. Really, that went right in? Well, isn't that just helpful? Because that's the top hole, isn't it? Right? Can you see better than I can?
Well, not with your hands in the way. Yes.
I think there's only 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was way easier than I imagined it to be. I imagined it to fight me. It's not a match for me today, but it was yesterday.
What are these brackets for?
These brackets, they're Rancho brackets. They lower the control arms because usually this control arm would mount up here, and this control arm would mount behind this heat shield. This bracket lowers them down to flatten these out, and the result is you're supposed to get a smoother ride because when the control arms are flat, they will let the suspension move up into the Jeep instead of if the control arm was up here. Point out, would you look at that? That's a pretty big angle difference. Like, there's this. Like, I don't know how that's showing up, but that's a pretty big difference there.
Mm-hmm.
So if this was like the control arm was back up here, and you hit a bump, you know, like you're going on a highway 50 mile an hour and you hit a pothole, it's going to hit the tire, and it's going to send all that energy straight through that into your frame. That's where you get those big boom, and it feels like, you know, the axle's falling out. Which I test drove these earlier today with the pinion angle pointing at the ground because these are adjustable control arms and they were set for these locations, so I gotta move things around and change them. I test drove it today and I was hitting this pothole. It rides so much better with these on. Yeah, people might say that these are going to get hung up on rocks, but ignore all these scratches that indicate I hit right here. Just ignore all these. I do not ever hit this part of the Jeep. But you get is worth having it hang so low. It just rides that much better. So now we're going to move the other side up to the top hole. They take this thing for a test drive and see if she vibrates. I don't think it will. I think we've put enough degree in it. We probably changed it a good 10 or 12 degrees probably. It was aiming pretty bad at the ground.
And then what?
Then what? See if it'll vibrate again at 60. Put these drop brackets on to flatten the front control arms. despite what people say. And I noticed yesterday that the pinion is aimed at the ground. No, I do not have a dial to measure it. I'm eyeballing it. If it's straight or a little bit pointing at the transfer case, we'll settle with that. And as long as it don't vibrate at any speed. So button this side up here, take it for a test drive, and see what she does.